Alright, what is up, people? So, today it's not Bluetooth speakers. Instead, it's something I think I haven't done for a very long time. That is reviewing a pair of regular speakers. I think the last video was me reviewing the Pioneer A-Jet woofers, which is like years ago. And, well, I finally got another decent pair of speaker that I could review today. However, this is kind of different because this is not an original, full on original all original parts kind of speaker. This is something I got in a thrift shop for about $15, and it's a pair of realistic uh, Optimus Pro X7s, which is it's kind of like those Minimus line stuff, but instead it has a port. Same 4-inch woofer and 1-inch tweeter. However, the issue with these is that the original woofers, while one of them works just fine, the other is very, very stiff, incredibly stiff, to the point that it doesn't even move. It's stiffer than, say, a dedicated mid-range speaker. And honestly, I think the reason for that is probably because some old guy left it next to a window and was bathing in sunlight for decades. Which, reasonable. Rubber does get hot when you leave it in the sunlight, which is why I decided just, what, fuck it, I'm gonna swap the woofers. So I went ahead and bought some of the Dayton 4-inch drivers, and hey, turns out they're a perfect fit. Not the screw hole part, but the cone diameter plus the surround part is a perfect fit for the cutout. So I don't have to do any modifications there. While the screw holes doesn't fit perfectly, all I have to do is install a speaker in a certain angle and have the screws pushing on the driver unit itself. It's going to hold in place. Since these speakers are pretty lightweight, they have neodymium magnets on them, so I don't really have to worry. And oh my god, I am shocked. I'm shocked by the quality of these Dayton audio woofers. So if you have any DIY projects going on, put them in. And I'm surprised by how efficient they are in a sealed box. They're more efficient than probably anything I've ever owned. Any sort of kind of 4-inch drivers I have, even the Odyssey ones. I had a pair of Odyssey 4-inch drivers. These are way better than those. I'm not joking. So like, if you are into DIY stuff, these are a very, very good resource. Used in a lot of different stuff. I've seen Bluetooth speakers use these drivers, like Diamond Box or something like that. So it's pretty reliable. Now, I'm just gonna do a sound test. I am powering these drivers with a RCA SDA 3850 amplifier. It's a stereo receiver. It's not the best, but it's actually pretty decent for what it is. And I don't have much space. I just want a simple little stereo setup to listen to music. So, anyways, just these speakers playing, no subwoofers, no nothing. So let's get to music.
Don't worry if I have to go. I think it's just me. But if you feel like coming home, I know that you can't find the answer.
All right, so that's it for the first song. It's "Good for the Love" by Charles Cornell. I do not own the song, and he's a pretty cool guy. Check it out. Well, that is serves as a good song for vocals and maybe a little bit of piano playing. I'm gonna play a jazz track on the next one. This track is "K.K Cruisin" by the Consouls. I'll put the song name in the description, by the way. All right, the last song I'm gonna play something a little more bass heavy. The song's gonna be Black Party Dancing. Now I don't own it, and it's a good song. By the way, I like Party a lot. He's awesome. Let's go.
Can I talk to you? Girl, I seen you dancing right here with your crew. It was your smile that brought me here to you. But maybe it's the way you hit your moves. Tell me, do you have a boo? And if not, then I wanna dance with you. You're so gorgeous that it's hard to keep my cool. But I'll keep it just to have a dance with you. Darling, tell me, can I talk to you? I seen you dancing from across the room. And told myself I gotta know you. I gotta know you. I gotta know you. Hey, can I walk you to your car and maybe we can get some food? But you won't break my heart if you decline, it's cool. But I honestly wanna end my night with you. Hey, let me know what's the deal or something. I'm trying to chill or something. I wanna know who you are, you so fly to me, I swear it. And you got style, yo, I love the way that dress fit, yeah. Deep convos on a late night. If you smoke, you can take flight. If you don't, then it's alright. But if I have your permission, you can be the braille to my blind eyes, alright? Can I talk to you? I seen you dancing from across the room. And told myself I gotta know you. I gotta know you. I gotta know
All right, that would be it. Well, let's do a quick analysis. So, in my opinion, I feel like these are pretty good sounding speakers, especially for a DIY jobby, half DIY jobby actually, and a design from the late 80s to the early 90s. I have to say these are pretty decent, even with just original speakers with a ported box. It's pretty good. The only reason I sealed it was because for this enclosure size, I looked at the spec sheets. It's closer to a recommended size for sealed enclosure for these Dayton drivers, so I might as well just seal it. It's not the perfect size, but it does its job. The next thing I might think of upgrading is probably the crossover because it's only for the tweeter. It only filters out the low frequencies on the tweeter drivers. It's a capacitor and an inductor, so I think it's an eighth order. I saw on the internet it says it's an eighth order. I'm not really sure. I didn't really analyze the circuits deeply, but yeah, I might add a a low pass filter for the woofers so that they won't interfere with each other. Um, but that's for future updates. If I ever do an update like that, I'll probably make another video like this. Anyways, sound wise, I feel like first of all, the mids and highs section is very flat. It's just flat. Let's just be honest. These are actually pretty accurate speakers, accurate to its original, recording. Now, after the modification, the lows are a bit boomy, but as to be expected since it also is originally. It's actually even less boomy now. It was even more boomier back when I was using the original woofer. At least for at least for the I think the right speaker. This speaker right here that had a good woofer was also just as boomy. Actually, even more boomy because of the bass port. The reason I sealed the bass port off is then again the boominess. I have to just get rid of that. Rid that boominess. So I sealed it off. It got better, but still, it's still mildly boomy in my opinion. Anyways, Well, if you're looking for a pair of satellite speakers, these would be just good for this. These would be just good for this purpose. Pair it up with a decent subwoofer. It's going to sound very very good. But if you want it to play full range, including the bass, might have to uh, use an EQ to lower the upper bass a little bit. Um, it actually does go deep. It goes to about 45, 50 hertz, somewhere around that. You could hear, if you placed it, next to a corner, you could definitely hear bass at around, kick bass at around 45 hertz to 50 hertz, somewhere around that area. So it definitely does go low. But like I said, you have to EQ it. You have to probably boost that. I wouldn't worry about that since these speakers are very, very efficient, at least without any EQing. It goes way, way louder than any Bluetooth speakers I've owned. One of them. I don't mean both of them. And they're about the same size. Let's be honest here. It's the XP33. It's about as big. So these are a lot more efficient without any equalizer. But so you could, it's got a lot of headroom to for you to mess around with these. And I did try messing around with it with a equalizer APO, and I can get it to sound as good, even better than, you know, I have Odyssey PC speakers, some other Odyssey speakers, some Sony, some Bose and whatnot. I could get it to sound better than all those by a big margin. So I'd say if you could find these on the internet and thrift shop for a couple of dollars, go for it. They sound better than the majority of modern day, portable or home multi-room speakers. Pair them with a decent amp and equalize them, they would sound a lot better. Uh, Anyways, that concludes this video. Thank you for watching. I don't know if I have any updates with these units, for example, like a new crossover, I would post them. So, thank you.